Good. All right. Welcome. Welcome to us and welcome to you, whoever you are, whenever you're listening. We're live on Friday morning on Facebook on What Really Is page. Every Friday we meet to inquire and feel and look and explore the difference between how we got used to think of things and what does it feel like when we encounter life not according to our thoughts or the thoughts that we got used to thinking. And this morning we're talking about escapism and love. And wow, I feel the topic is burning in every particle of my being. Ruthi, before we dive in, would you like to say something?
Just to say that we're not speaking of changing thoughts or altering thoughts from one to the other. It's not that there is a thought I got used to look at life through and then I change it and it's a different one now, but much more that we are not our thoughts and the world is not as reflected in the mind or in the realm of thoughts. So as we are more able to discern our thoughts and the realm of thoughts, how it acts as a filter, what does it determine in our lives, the more we realize that, the more we can look at that and then pay attention to what really is, to what is really there, what was always there. And we didn't pay attention because we were so busy with the realm of thoughts, which is so hectic and tempting, sometimes very, promises things and deals with fear and heroes and so on. Very, very, very noisy.
Very determined.
Yes, and very demanding. So our attention is drawn to it.
Yeah. Okay. So taking it from here, I will read the short phrase in Wikipedia saying what is escapism, and then we'll take it from there. So according to today's mass knowledge, escapism is a mental diversion from unpleasant or boring aspects of daily life, typically through activities involving imagination or entertainment. Escapism may be used to occupy oneself away from persistent feelings of depression or general sadness. I will start by sharing that looking back in my 20s and maybe even before, I was really, really in a state of escapism. Maybe deep in the back of my mind, I knew that I am avoiding something. But for me, especially at the time, I was so living life. I was passionate about things. I was excited. I was loving. I did everything my heart told me. I had relationships, I had friends, I had jobs. Like, I was super in life. If you'd asked me then, I wouldn't say, well, maybe not immediately, I wouldn't say that I'm, what does it say here? First of all, escaping anything. And but if I'm looking now as I'm speaking, there was a constant fear and a constant thought of boredom. Like, life is actually boring. If I will stop, like, life is not enough as it is. And maybe thinking of now thinking of people I know, and maybe this thought is one of the root thoughts that that provokes escapism. Boredom. Is this not enough? Not enough. Actually, everything is not enough. I am not enough. Life is not enough. The party is not enough. The relationship is not enough. Like,
but then explain to me, why does it take to escapism? Why does it take you or other people to try to avoid or be somewhere else, so that you don't encounter? If life is not enough, then wherever you'll be, it will be not enough.
Yeah, it's a state of existence.
Yeah. So why do you go places, or why were you so passionate if it has to do with boredom or with emptiness?
Because if I will not chase the entertainment, if I will not chase the fun, if I will not raise the level, I will sink.
So actually, you're even creating excitement and stimulus, events, behaviors, so that you can not meet this emptiness or this not enough in a
yeah.
Okay. Because I found that when I met escapism, it was usually from the opposite, but maybe they're connected.
Opposites complete.
Yeah. The feeling of too much. Life is too much. There's too much demanded of me. There's too much responsibility. I may fail, so it takes too much of me. It will be too difficult for me to see life as it really is. So I need to create diversions. What you are saying now is that I need to create things that fulfill me, that are big enough, good enough, so that I won't feel this emptiness or this nothingness that you were saying, that you were speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I would like you in this session to speak more. Okay? Not just to ask me questions, because I think that your relationship with escapism is diverse, and it's on the move, it's in motion. And I think that feeling escapism, feeling how it is to be in that, is really the gate. Okay, it's like, so I would say a few things, but interrupt me and give examples from your life or from where you see that, or from questions that you have today, relationships that you have with people. So I'll say this. I think it's a pretty good description, what's written in Wikipedia, but I want to take it to another level. The mental state of thinking that I need to push away or go away, either I go away or I push away from me, is the conduct of, it's the shape or the form of escapism. But actually what motivates escapism is that I feel that it's a deep feeling, belief, and then feeling that it is not possible for me to be with life, in life, as they are. It may be too empty, it may be too demanding, it may be too dangerous. The world may be rough and even cruel and complicated, sometimes like a dictatorship makes you do things like oppression. I can see things from that angle, or I can see things from an angle saying, I don't know how they do it, they meaning or the others, but I don't know how. How will I be a parent? How will I find work? How would I earn money? How would I get into a really relationship and grow in that and be happy and not just create more suffering? Okay, that is something really that is fundamental to the conduct or the behavior of escapism. That belief is wrong. And I want to take a bit of time to explain this because our topic is escapism and love. When I believe in all the things that I said now, that it's too much, either too imposing or oppressing, or either and void, then
wait, Ruthi, can you repeat? Can you repeat, please? Because there was an interruption, and I think maybe it's also for the listeners.
When we understand that the basic assumption of escapism is that life itself, as they are impossible for me. Okay, whether I'm to blame, the world to blame, someone specific like my parents to blame, or my boss to blame, then what runs me, even if I think it's either if I think that it's too much, or if I think that it's too little, less, empty, void, then in both those instances, I am run by fear. My whole being is determined by the belief that I am lacking or missing, that I'm not enough, and that the world is dangerous and complex and intricate and just impossible. So whether I say others can do it and I don't, or the slaves are doing it, but I'm free and I'm not willing to, it doesn't matter for our subjects, because what needs to be understood in order to really, inquire the relationship between escapism and love is that coming from escapism is coming from fear. It's coming from saying, no, there is not enough. I am not enough. There is nothing really of value or beauty or worth loving. outside or in me. Okay, so then there's no love. Now, the dynamic of escapism is that it reassures itself, because when I look from this basic assumption, thinking that it's too much, that the world is too much for me, it's like it will crush me, it will shame me, it will empty me of everything. I will be, my energy will be sucked out from me, and so from me, or so on. Then every encounter with a human being, or every encounter with a situation, is interpreted according to those assumptions. So when someone will tell me, come on, you cannot escape me anymore. I know that you love me. Please be with me. Show me that you love me. The person who believes in those basic assumptions coming from lacking and missing would interpret that as trying to control him, again showing that he's not enough, again criticizing him or her. Yes, that would enhance a more extreme way of approaching every situation, of understanding myself and the others, and so on. It's a vicious circle. So that you may come to a person that believes in those assumptions with best of heart, with a loving approach, with a lot of respect, feeling even privileged that you are with that person. And that person who is concerned with escapism would see everything that you do as another proof for him being not enough, or for another proof saying that you are opposing, oppressing.
And the world is, the world becomes more and more impossible.
Right. And then also when we look for friends, or when we make friends with people who are, in our vibe. So they think alike. So I also hardly have any interruptions from the outside, because the wide world I can push away. I cannot listen. I can decide not to listen to news, not read newspapers, be in a community that is at least, closed and
inviting people also that accept me as I am, and maybe even love this,
accept me as I am means that they would listen to my heart and my nature, not only to my escapism. Okay. Loving me as I am is a deal.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like, hey, this is who I am. Take it or leave it, you know?
No. It's much nicer. You're doing it much more. You're pinking it. What it means is that there is a very harsh, well-kept, under guard arrangement saying, you will never ask more of me than I'm willing to give. You will never judge me and look at me and say, come on, what's happening to you? You move from country to country. It's one example, yes. You move from country to country. Every time you hope for the best, and then you come and there's a relationship and then it's crushed. And then you move from there, you change men, you change countries, you change subjects that you study, but every time it falls apart, you feel less and less love, you feel more and more anger, fear, and despair. Yeah. So someone will come and say that to you in the agreement between people who are dealing with escapism. That is breaking the rules. Maybe it's breaking the most fundamental rule there is. That's why escapism is becoming worse and worse, or it becomes, I might have started that from certain failure or certain, bad period in my life. We all have that. But then once I adopt these basic assumptions and I feel as if, and I believe that they are the truth, then, as I said, I look for friends that are like me. So when I lose my, 15th job, they would say, fuck the world, really, this is a fucked up world, nobody cares for you. He, again, failed to deliver whatever he was supposed to deliver. And that's why he's being laid off. And then what I said before, then he explains that to himself, the person explains to himself that is the world's fault, and that's why they come back. Now, wait, just one more thing. When we do that, and there are people around us who think differently, I would be interrupted in a most beautiful way, because I would look in his eyes. And even though my thought may be, he wants more of me than I can give, he wants to take control of me, over me, and then I will look in his eyes and I will see the love. And I would have a more difficult time to explain everything under the escapism basic assumptions. Then love may enter. Okay? But when I surround myself with people who think alike, and they all keep very strict behavior, so they act very strictly according to the law that would say, I would never challenge you in any way, and I would not judge you, and I would not call you outside of yourself so that you can realize what you've been doing to yourself, and that's an act of love. The person who is, or the people who are in this community would look at it as something that is a violation of the rules, is something very
crossing borders,
very cruel,
disrespectful.
How would you say disrespectful in a very fundamental? It's like you're violating, and you're
cross-boarding.
In most
taking over, dominating, patronizing, penetrating.
Yes, penetration it's like with force, with strength, with no permission. The permission is the most fundamental. You have no permission to do that. The mandate is not given to you. Now, what I'm saying is that this creates a lot of suffering and pain, because it causes me to become with anxieties that take over my life. Usually it would take me to places where I use drugs, which are not for, for feeling something that you cannot feel during, but it is a way to avoid life.
It's not an inspiring.
Not from that angle.
Not in the magical.
Not in the magical, not in the, trance. Being like trans, whatever we'll call it, but
that's it's using and abusing the power.
When I feel abused, when I feel gravely abused or fundamentally abused, because I have those basic assumptions that in the world comes to me with passion and love and excitement and demands that are in their place, that are rightfully demanded. You are part of a community, you need to contribute, you need not to violate basic rights that other people have, yeah, they are conceived by the people who are dealing with escapism as something that is very fundamentally abusive.
Yeah. Okay, so now we talked a lot about expressions of this core feeling, but let's go for a moment to this core feeling, because, and when I say this core feeling is that life is too much for me, or the other, like the flip of the coin is I'm not enough. It's the same coin, right?
Yeah.
If I don't encounter this coin one time, like in some situation on this side of the coin and in the other, because on the other side of the coin, then nothing, this is from my experience and my logic, nothing will help me. Positive thoughts, courses, wisdom that is true, that is wise. I don't know, Buddhism and Taoism and all kinds of beautiful religions, and of course medicines, whether it's official medicines or drugs, work, projects, nature, you know, everything that we use in order to empower our natural wisdom, our natural vividness.
Yeah.
If I keep holding this coin in my core, nothing will be sustainable. Nothing. And that, I say this and I feel like crying because it's so tragic. And I see people, and I know this also from myself, circling in endless honest attempts to change their patterns of fears and anxieties of life. So what, maybe we can say something about this core and about this coin that wow, it's so strong and so absurd, because I'm what basically it means is you're not up for it. And for what? For life? I am alive. How can I not be up for life? Like, what if I say this like this? It's completely insane.
Let me make it harder for you. Okay, I can live life, but the question is, what do you mean live life? Can you make sure that you can work and earn money? Can you make sure that you'll be a good parent to children that you might have? Are you sure that you can, I don't know, be a good citizen, be a good daughter or son? Are you sure that you can have food on your table every day?
These are examples of being in life, yeah?
And doubting your ability to do that.
Yeah, I guess I cannot make sure of that. But by which means, you know, but by which measurements be a good daughter? How much food? How much money? How do I earn it?
Let's make it harder. Not how much. I'm not sure that I can provide for myself, or if I have family, I'm not sure that I can provide for my family. I don't know if I can provide food or education. These are different levels. Yes, food and then education, or first where to live, a house or shelter, and then education, and then living in a neighborhood that won't harm them. Okay, and we know that We know people who are not able to do that, right?
Yeah.
We know that sometimes we couldn't maybe do that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah.
What's the relationship? That's the question between that and escapism. Okay, and what's the relationship between love and that? Okay, so would you like to say something about it, or would you like me to start?
What I see now when you're talking is that life is demanding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes me think of wild nature. They work like lions, you know, and animals in nature. They work.
Mm-hmm.
They work hard. We call it demanding. Like,
We call it work.
yeah.
Start with
They
work.
live.
Right.
They live.
Are lions and eagles and worms and birds. They are that. Everything that they do is that. That's not, you understand, the moment we say they work hard, when you look at an animal, hunting, then one of the most beautiful things to look at is it knows what to do. It is now being what it is, which is not an it. It's life.
Yeah.
It is when the eagle pushes her little ones from the nest when the time comes, she's being an eagle. And if they won't be pushed, they won't know what an eagle is. So we can call it by the names that we adopted while speaking from our minds, trying to figure out this world so that we can control it mistakenly, and then say, this is very dangerous, she's doing it, she's being an eagle, she's doing whatever an eagle does, okay? And sometimes it also has to do with death or losses, okay? It has to do with sometimes when she pushes them from the nest, one of them doesn't fly and gets crushed on the rock. That's how it is. The moment we try to control life, the moment we try to either predict or to make sure, maybe that's to make sure that something either happens or doesn't happen, then we become afraid. And escapism comes from that fear. It's an extremity of that fear. Okay, we need to deal with, we need to cope with. It's dangerous, it's complex, we are lacking, and we need to somehow figure it out.
You know, the question that comes like blinking in my brain now is, what if those couple of words, this combination is, it feels like the essence of the difference between us and other animals. We have this little gate, this little window that becomes everything for us, and it's full with what ifs.
Yeah.
And then we can't move because we're so scared.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the relationship with that. Being a human being would raise those words. It's what ifs and it should be and shouldn't be. Okay, so that is something that's happening in our minds, and it immediately creates a gap, and from there we go on. But if we really understand that life is not about coping. It is about living. And maybe I would say it's about encountering in a mode of a total absolute yes. Okay, so every moment something happens. Yeah, I breathe, I see someone, I hug someone, I feed someone, the dog's barking. That happens. The question is whether when that happens, I take it as something I need to cope with, and in many senses to control, to try to either avoid or control in a certain sense so that it doesn't harm me, or whether it's whether I'm one with it. So when my dog barks, I know that everyone who is here with us and you, we are people, and things happen. And when they happen, instead of trying to make them go away, I'm called to pay attention. I'm called to come closer. Okay, I was looking at him for a moment to see how he is and to see whether he needs something from me. And then I go another step and I say, well, but it's not appropriate. People come to listen and we're alive. How can I get up? But I thought to myself, what does it mean? What does it really mean? If my dog needs something now and I'm here and he's next to me, then I would go and give him whatever he needs if there's something that really calls for my attention. And how that would affect other people in a way that is possible for them to look where they are living a certain image, a certain picture of how it should be and shouldn't be, instead of moving like that with life, letting life really be there and then take me over. And then.
Yeah, and also, okay, so as a listener, so her dog is barking. Oh, this is so unprofessional. Okay, I can't, it's harder for me to hear her. Now, do I go there and I'm like, or do I say, okay, I need to listen closer. Maybe I'll turn on the volume. Maybe she will pause. Just, we don't give ourselves the moment to stay. We get scared so fast if things don't happen the way we think they should or expect they should, and we just don't give ourselves the chance. You know, I still have those. It's like a fence of spears. You know, there's this tarot card. The person standing, there are lots of
in the tarot, to me.
In the tarot cards, yeah. Anyway, we stop, but we stop in the face of fear. We don't stop and continue being involved. We forget that we are motion, not by chance, like by choice. If I will, I can stop and be completely blocked, but I can also stop and be completely open. The stop is the same stop, but my state will determine what will happen with me.
Yeah. When you stop from, first of all, when we come from fear, when we believe that the world is dangerous and complex and we are lacking and we need to avoid pain by any cost, and then we cope all the time, then we hardly stop. We are either paralyzed from fear, or we attack or cope or work very hard, which makes it impossible for us or very difficult for us to really be there in that vacant place where I'm not coping, I'm not too afraid to feel. And then I can listen to like the heartbeat of the situation, of what I'm called for. It's not coping, it's exactly the opposite. It's something like it's the opposite of work. It's not exactly rest, but it's presence that is effortless. Okay, that place makes me attentive enough, free enough, sensitive enough, so that I can really be. And then information comes my way. I can see, I can feel, I can know from within what I'm called for. And when I do that, then with no effort, it doesn't mean that I won't work. That's like with a Puma. And from the outside, we'd say that she worked, but actually she was complying to what's needed right now.
Yeah.
And now, and now, and now, and now.
Yeah.
And she's not trying to force something that is not asked of her. She won't eat more than she needs. The rest would be left for others, because she's not about what should and shouldn't be. She's about is. She's about what really is. And there, the whole motion is very different.
I think that one of the major things that creates escapism is the fear of making a mistake. Because when I'm getting into this what if mode, and sorry, I don't think we can avoid this. We are thinkers. It comes. It's not something we do. Those scenarios, those what ifs, they come. I don't know where they're coming from, but they come. And then I am forced to stand for a moment, even in this state of, let's call it for a moment, making a choice. I have all those what ifs, and okay, you say, if I will surrender to my nature, something will take me, right? Like some.
Let's talk more simply. Let's talk about a certain situation, a specific situation.
Yeah, making a choice and making a mistake.
What? Give me an example.
I will give you an example from my friend. She had the option to go to a party and work, have a gig as a DJ, and she had a test at the weekend after. So it was either go to another country, do the gig, do the work, really, really enjoy and support her upcoming career. And on the other hand, it was studying for the test, which she really, really wants to get over, like to finish this degree.
Nice. Yeah.
And she was banging against the wall for nights and nights. Can't decide, because she was scared of making a mistake. If she goes here, she loses that. If she goes there, she loses that.
So your question, or what you're saying, is that it is an either-or situation, that you can't deal with it not through thoughts, right?
Yeah, because it's a lose-lose situation for the mind.
So if she tries to not make a mistake, first of all, she needs to, in order for her to make a mistake, she needs to make sure that she knows what is the right thing to do, okay? Because for me to say I made a mistake has to be according to a certain picture or image, or
I should have done that.
Or that is what's called success. That's what's called a good decision. That's what's called, okay? So how would she describe that? Do you see that she needs to go to an image within her and then say that, okay?
Yeah.
That, for example, I need to see that I make most money out of what I did, or that I would not regret what I did, okay? The minute we set this measure, we are afraid. Can you see that? Then there's
of course.
hope. The minute I do that,
of course,
then I have like a place to reach, or a place to make sure I don't reach, and I know that I might reach it.
It's really simple. I want two things. Two things are very important to me, and I can't decide which one is more important.
Oh, no, that's not the question. That's the question of the mind.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that in order to decide, I have to know what I want to have at the end. Okay?
Yeah.
If I don't, then what's the decision about? If I want to make sure that I don't regret, then I have a dilemma. If I want to make sure that I made money, or I did the best thing for my career, then in maybe 2 years, I could judge that and see. Maybe. But now I'm concerned with what is the right decision to do, because I have an image of this thing I need to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no such thing. The image is something we create, thinking that while we create this, we are more focused in life, we are more happy in life, our life is more, we control this more.
We are more of value.
Yeah, we are more value.
Success. We're more safe.
Yeah, and responsible and so on. And then it would give me more power, and then I can be more of that in my life. Doing that, believing that, I create these images. Okay? And then I'm in a dilemma. Which one would take me where? But this image is a creation of my mind. If I don't have this at all, if I don't go there, if I do realize, as you said before, thoughts would come. So I would look at the thoughts, but I would not comply to them. I would say, yes, I see that if I need to make sure that what I'm doing is the best thing for my career, I cannot know now, but who says that this is what happened? Okay? That if I do something, it would bring me somewhere. And how would I know in 2 years, look at the last year of the COVID, to see how focused people were on how their lives should look, on what they would be able to do and not, what they need to create. And then came this COVID-19, and everything was shattered. Everything was like gravely damaged. I'm saying with a smile, not saying about the COVID smile, but about this being shaken, because we are coming from the mind thinking we can control things.
We can predict, as if something can be prone.
We need to predict. We need to say where we need to be at. We create ladders of value, and we need to make sure that we're on the higher upper ladder.
Yeah.
Everything is a consequence of fear. But what would happen if I don't go that way, if I don't act and live that way? But if I come closer, instead of going backwards so that I can have the big picture and then decide, I would come closer, meaning, for example, I would talk to the people there. I would feel what I'm feeling when I'm speaking to them in the party, in the other, country. I would share with them a bit. I would laugh with them, try to laugh with them. I would ask for their dreams concerning that event. I would listen to their experience from last events and see how it goes. I would speak with people who were there and how they, and I would feel the energy. And then I would I would look at the material I need to cover with the test. And I would actually, when I do that, I feel it physically. I don't only read. It's like I speak with people, I hold the paper, it's like that. And then if I become really, really with no agenda, okay, I can see the beauty here, I can see the beauty here, and then I sit very quietly, or I wash dishes, or I take a shower. Then at a certain moment, it would become clear to me where I'm going to go with no really good explanation. Okay, the mind would not, because it's not a conclusion of an analysis the mind made. It's the ability to be, which is the exact opposite of escapism. It's the ability to be, to really be, not trying to evaluate, not trying to analyze, not trying to estimate the measure to which I can be or not be. I can take life as it is or not, but just living life, encountering them as they come. And if they come from two directions, the mind says they're opposite. But if they come from both directions, first of all, I would see that there is an abundance here and an abundance there. And that is important to notice. And then I would just do whatever we just said. And when I'm free enough to pay attention and agendaless enough to pay attention, then the spirit would take me somewhere, the winds would blow, and I would find myself somewhere. And from there, if I would not be concerned with regret, or I would not be concerned with whatever comes with fear, then the next moment, even if I come and I see that people are not enjoying what I'm doing, for example, the party is not going that well, then if I'm coming closer, not if I'm up in my head saying, maybe I'm not good enough, or
I made the wrong decision.
I made the wrong decision, or these are people that I should have known. And the mind would
I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
There goes the test.
Right. But if I look at them, but love the people and really be there, then I would be able to feel them and know what is asked of me, which maybe also speak on the mic and say, let go. You didn't let go yet. And then put something on and the people would be there. It doesn't always mean that I need to change something that I did, but it calls for me to come closer.
It's like
act of love.
First of all, it was so beautiful the way you took us on this journey of getting closer, and I could feel that it becomes playful. Suddenly, this heaviness,
right?
It becomes playful, and it's about the play. It's about the game, and not so much about winning. That's one thing. And also the way you said that, okay, let's say I go to the party and it was the wrong decision, and I will hear it, and my brain will say it, everything we said. So I will let it, because I'm a person, and I will forgive myself for being a person and having those thoughts. I will smile to it. I will feel it. maybe it will take me down for 3 minutes, a whole 3 minutes. But then if I let it happen and I let myself be in this experience of feeling shitty, and then you said it about the love, I will look at the people, I could feel it's like collapsing. I'm collapsing into the love. I have all those voices, I have all those thoughts, I'm busy in my head, and then I'm like, and from here, it's like a phoenix, you know?
Yeah, but with no drama, because I'm not really collapsing. I'm just letting go of whatever is not really there. What the mind is saying is coming from its own logic and from a place that came out of not being in touch.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm in touch with my thoughts. And when I'm in touch with my thoughts, it's very, very hard, maybe even impossible to be in touch with what is now. There's like a thick layer of whatever.
Yeah. The letting go is not pushing away anything. It's just stopping the argument that we have with life, either in order to have something or to avoid or to push away something. It's stopping the argument, stopping the need to be in control. And then life itself carries us. It's like a good wave carrying us.
Is it right to say in a way that in the bottom line, if I go like this, it almost doesn't matter what I choose?
Yeah.
Right?
Very true. And the other side of the infinite, of infinity says, and you won't, at the end, you won't choose everything because your energy would magnetize something, but you wouldn't know why. That's why I said that when I feel myself going to the party or going to the test, when I find myself doing that, I have no good explanation because the mind gives explanations in order to, but the spirit, mystery takes care of me. Let me allow it to be what's carrying me and what's guiding me, and not my thoughts and the logic they created.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't mention that we would love to hear you at any point here in the comments or on YouTube or on our website. We're really, really looking forward to your sharings with your confusions in this topic or in anything else you'd like to share. Confusions and wisdom. This is the infinity. Thanks to the confusions, the wisdom is revealed. Great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.